Hey guys, so you wanting to learn how to play all those solos just like you hear in the songs? We're going to go over all that now. The pentatonic scale is the basis of that. Stay tuned, keep watching till the end. Click on the like, subscribe, the comment and everything, and we'll get started as soon as we roll the intro.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Hey guys, so just kind of a recap of what all we've studied so far in our last video. We went over the notes of the guitar. We went over how to tune your guitar by ear. We went over the chromatic scale and some chromatic scale exercises. And we briefly touched on the pentatonic scale shapes. So now let's dive a little bit deeper into the pentatonic scale. Coffee. This is just taking that first position, the very first scale I showed you, that position 1. Look at this. Here's the minor scale. Here's the major scale. You see any difference at all with me not putting frets on here? It's exactly the same, identical. The few things to notice about it, I told you the sound of it. A major scale has a little more upbeat, bouncy, happy, and a minor scale is more bluesy or sad tone. And the shape of the positions are exactly the same for the major and minor. So that's the cool thing, you're only having to learn those 5 positions. The difference is a minor scale begins with the first finger on the first root note of the scale. Let's take an A for instance. So your minor scale is going to start with your index finger playing that A note. That's that root note, E, F, G, A. So that's your A note. So if I play that shape, I'm playing that A pentatonic minor scale. The only difference is if I want to play the major scale, instead of my pinky playing that, my first finger playing that note, I've just moved my hand down 3 frets. Now my pinky is playing that note. It's still the same scale. Same exact scale. Only difference is on a minor scale, your pinky's playing on that root note on a major scale, and then on a minor scale, your index finger is playing on that note. Here are the major scales. There's only 7 notes in the music thing, so that makes things a little easier. Luckily, we're not A through Z or something. So there's 7 major scales, so depending on where your pinky note is, you see that top one? These are the major ones I'm showing you right now. So looking at your major scales, your pinky is going to start here. You notice these are all position 1s. I'm showing you the position 1 that you get the scale from. So an A, your pinky begins on an A. Look at a B. Where is that at? On the 7th, where that's your B, A, B. So your pinky is starting there, so that's your B major. Your C major is going to be down 1 more fret, will be a C major scale. And the G major, it's going to be going to that 15th fret, which would be a G. So it's just going to be going up and down that same scale. If you play 1 octave, if you went from this green note down to this green note, down here like on this G scale, that would be 1 octave. If you play the whole scale down to here, that's 2 octaves. Hey guys, so now we're talking about my favorite, the minor pentatonic scales. This is what a lot of Western music, a lot of blues, rock, pop, and everything do. In fact, a lot of times when you hear guitarists just refer to the pentatonic scales, they're referring in most cases to the pentatonic minor scales. So as you can see up here, the pentatonic minor scale. It's the exact same shape as the major, only you're starting with your index finger on the root. And these scales have a much more bluesy sound, and it's the scale used in a lot of the blues, rock, and popular music. So right here, 7 scales for A, for B, for C, D, E, there's an F sharp and a G sharp. So 7 of the major pentatonic scales, and all of them in that position 1, that 1-4, you know, that. And that same progression. Wherever that root note is, 5th fret, that's an A. If I move this to the 7th fret, it's a B. If I move this up to the 9th fret, that's a C sharp minor. When you're playing this first position, every one of these positions, from this position, if you're playing position 1, let's say you're playing it on the, for instance, let's say you started on the B right here, and you played this one. When it moves from position 1 to position 2, that moves up 2 frets, right? When you play position 2 going to position 3, that moves up 2 frets. So let's say you're down here at the end of the neck. Well, keep in mind you're playing over that 12th fret right in here, covering that first 2 spans. Anytime you're at the 12th fret, that is exactly like playing at the very first of the neck. So that 12th fret would be these open strings, and this, you know, you're playing into those first 2 frets right there. Now, going from position 3 to position 4 is the only one, and that moves up 3 frets instead of 2. So when you're here at the end of the neck, your position 3, 4 and 5 are going to start back at the beginning of the neck, but keep in mind you're already playing in your first 2 frets here, and it's going to move up 3 frets. So, that would be like playing here, and it's going to move up 1, 2, 3. So a lot of times when you're playing something down there and you reach that 12th fret and you're starting over with position 4, position 5, it's not starting over at the 1st fret. It's starting generally on the 3rd fret for, like in this case, position 4, and then it would move up to position 5 in that 5th fret. So just wanted to let you know that if you start down here at the beginning, of course you got plenty of room to play all 5 positions, but if you're starting a scale here going 1, 2, 3, and it's starting over, position 4 is going to be playing on that like 3rd fret, and then your 5th fret down here. Once again, here's your pentatonic minor scale positions, and if you look at this neck pattern, wherever the pattern starts on the top, the 6th string, that E string, is the key of the scale. For example, if the pattern 1 begins on the top 6th string, fret 5, that would be an A. See what I mean? So if it started on the 7th, that would be a B. But the pattern is the same. So that's what I keep wanting to repeat. The pattern of that thing is the same. So these are your 5 positions, are good starter scales to kind of memorize there. All right, so if you look right here, that same pattern 1 position for the pentatonic scales, the minor one, if we play that over this from the 3rd fret, which would be the G note, that's going to be a G minor pentatonic. So if you look at the tab on the screen right now, it would be 3, 6, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 6, 3. So you would play that over a G chord. So anyway, that's a G. Now I wanted to kind of talk about joining these scales together. So whenever we look at joining these together, here's what I want you to notice about these positions. You see this position 1, you see how, I just want you to look at the last shape. See how it says 1, 4, 3? If you look at the shape of this bottom part, do you notice something when you look here at the beginning of position 2? This position and this position. Does that look identical? Oh. So these are made to tie together. So as you're playing this, when you slide down to position 1, you slide your index finger down, playing where these are playing the 3rd note. You would slide up 2 frets. Now your first index finger on position 2 is covering that fret. So like, let's say in a G position, this would be the 3rd fret. So then you slide up 2 frets. So this would be the 5th fret, and you play this position. So now if you were to go down to position 3, look at the last of this, the last line of these, you know, that 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. Look at that shape and look at the first shape here. It's identical. Why? Because it's made so you can slide your fingers up to that next position. So this would be 2 frets up. You know, now your first finger, or on this one, your second finger is going to slide up to where it's covering where this 4th fret is. And that one's going to be covered by your first finger. So, so this is kind of on joining the scales together. So you're going to be sliding your fingers up, you know, 2 positions, you know, to that next position on the scale. In this one, let's say we were playing a C scale, which would start on the E, F, G, A, B, C. So let's say we're on this 8th fret, right? And we're going 1, 4. So if we were doing that position 1, so if we moved up, we would move where our index finger, instead of on the 8th, it's going to move up 2 frets. And then we're going to play that position 2 right here with the, you know, 2, 4. And I kind of wrote it out in tab there for you. So if we were playing here up in the 8th fret going, and then I move that up to there, 13, and then 10, 12, and then, so you just move that up into there, and there you're playing that off the position 2. So now if you move down to position 3, this position you're going to move your fingers up to the 12th fret. So it's going to be, so that's kind of a 1 octave in that 3rd position of the C minor scale. So now this is what I was talking about a second ago. So on the C pentatonic scale, since you're playing this in the 12th fret, you're kind of at the end of your fretboard. I know there's a few more notes, but basically this is where you would start over. So position 4, if you were going to continue it, would continue at the 3rd fret. And then the position 5, you know, that 5th position is going to slide up on that 5th fret. wanted to show you something here I was talking about. I kind of put these scale patterns here like they would join together on the pentatonic minor scale. So if you look, you have, this is pattern 1, position 1, you know, and remember I was describing how this last part of that shape is just like the first one. So this one you would play shape 1, and then if you slid up 2 frets, you would be where you're playing with your 4th finger, your pinky finger here. Now you're playing that with your 2nd finger. You know, because you cover 1 fret per finger. So, you know, if you're sliding up to the next position, you just slide up 2 frets. Now what you were playing with your pinky, you're playing with your 2nd finger, and you're playing that in this position. So I wanted to show you, if I took these and I purposely did these as pictures, where I could actually overlay that to where that shows what it's doing now. So now if I took this one and slid the 3rd position and just covered that position there, now I got that position. Now if I took this one and covered it, because my 1 finger is playing where those 4s were, so if I slid up to that next position, guess what? Now see how that one's shaped? See how the beginning of this one is shaped? So if I slid that exactly over, covering where my 4th finger was, guess what? Now, yeah. So there, now you have a whole 12 frets covered, all 5 positions. So if you were starting on the 1st fret, you know, that would be like an F minor pentatonic, because that first note is an F, you know, open is E and first note is an F. So this would be that entire F minor pentatonic scale. So if you want to get a screenshot of that as well, you can do that. I also drew it on a little bigger diagram right here in case you wanted to see it, where I put dots. That's the same thing. See where these notes are green? Like if this were starting on the 1st fret and that's an F, that would be your root note. Everywhere, this is all 5 positions, just like I just did putting those pictures over there. So basically this is all the notes. This is just like a guitar neck. There's your 3rd fret, your 5th, your 7th, your 9th. There's always 2 dots on the neck on the 12th fret. So this would be the 15th, 17th, and 19th fret. So this is all 5 positions. And if you notice, the other thing, see how this ends with 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1? That's because your scale started with 1, 1, 1. So this whole positions would just start over and keep going. So, you know, that's the beauty of this thing, is where one ends, the other scale begins. So it makes it real easy to slide down to that next note and play it. I kind of did it, if you wanted to see one, that all I did here, it's the same picture. I just kind of narrowed it down a little bit, make it look more like a guitar neck. So anyway, so that is the same thing. Now if you took this first position here, whoops, I can't go over that picture, but basically that very first position we started with, that would just be starting over, kind of coming down here in this neck. I want to practice linking all these together. So like here's an example of some different positions. This is playing a 3 octaves of a G pentatonic scale, which would start on the 3rd fret. That G note is where your finger positions would be. Start here, and you can see I wrote up here at the top, this one's covering shape 1. When it slides up to this, you're moving up to shape 2. When it goes to this part, it's moving up to shape 3. This part for shape 4, and then shape 5 is this last part sliding up to 15. So this one is going to tie and link all these positions together to play 3 octaves of a G scale. So these are going through all your shapes. You're starting here, 3, 6, you're in shape 1, 3, 6, 3, 5, and then you're moving down to the 8. You're moving down to shape 2, and you're playing the 8, 5, 8, 5, and then you're going to move down to the 3rd position, which is down at 7, which would be, and then you're going to play 8, and then move down to that next position, which is 11, 13, and then 10, 13, 15. So you've moved all the way from this first position through every shape up to the 5th position. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. We're going to be releasing a 3rd video with some more scales to practice. Be sure to click on the like, subscribe, comment button down below so you'll be notified as we release more videos. Be sure to check out the channel, all the stuff we got in it. Once again, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you soon.